to order at 6:10. So what amount do we have? Because we did a pretty good job last time of doing thumbs up and thumbs down. And
Right.
so I recalculated everything. It came up to about 6,400.
We actually have 6,500, that's our amount
Perfect.
allocated to us for this year. Plus, we have $300 being turned back over from the Blackstone Valley Education. That was Holly McNeil. That never went anywhere. And then we have $752 that has been encumbered over the last several years that I just dug up that we should be spending. We're supposed to be spending that every year. So I have $650, $6,500 plus 300 turned back from Holly McNeil plus $752 encumbered, which gives us a total of $7,552.
Say that figure one more time. Sorry, I was reading Paul's email. The final figure that we have?
7,552.
Okay. So I'm going to take notes on who we're giving what because I'll need to send out the letters, right?
Right.
So can somebody else be our human calculator as we go?
I can do that if you want.
Oh, did we call our meeting to order?
Yes, Dana did. I can do that.
And Paul, it sounds like Paul's having trouble with his email address. I don't know if he thinks maybe we entered his email address wrong in the meeting invite. I don't even.
Okay. All right.
I think if that were the case, it wouldn't have gone to him.
Exactly. I'm not sure what's going on.
Maybe he just lost his password for Zoom.
I'll invite him again.
It's in the email that Dana sent out. It's a number.
No, I think it's his Zoom password it's asking for.
Oh, he doesn't automatically log in, doesn't have it linked in.
Mine automatically comes in, and then
Yeah,
Dana had a number code that I put in, and I was fine.
Okay, I just invited him from Zoom, so we'll see. Okay, do we just want to kind of
Yeah.
order again, or okay? So the free community art celebration. I think last time we were all pretty positive on that one.
That's for 350.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The Nutcracker for 13,000.
I think that was a no.
Yeah, that was a no. The dog park we also felt was a no because it was too similar to last year.
correct.
Last time we met, sorry, when we were talking about the ones that we would be declining or the ones we thought we might be declining, we talked about maybe wanting to give them a little more information in the decline letter about why we were declining. Do you want me to do that with the Nutcracker?
Yeah, I think all three of hers we need to do that for to some degree. I don't
Right.
mind.
So, okay, you're right. So
So can
Yeah.
you guys help me remember our reasons for declining the Nutcracker? I think it was
Nutcracker
because
is that it's
was
a great idea for a production, but it's more than twice as much money that we have to give out to the community, if you want to get into how much money we give out. And in this time of the pandemic, it's not a sure thing that it's going to happen. So however you feel that, I don't know, there's
Yeah, I don't mind helping out with the verbiage either.
That's okay. I just wanted to refresher of the reasons.
Yeah,
Exactly, right.
I can word
Right.
it.
I would also like to see kind of like a plan B on some of those. Like if you don't get the 13,000, what are you gonna, what are you gonna do then? Which I believe she does on one of the grants, but not all of the other two.
But I think that's one of the questions in the application.
Mhm.
Right. So, yeah, so follow those instructions. Make sure you answer everything.
For reconsideration or for next year? For reconsideration?
No, I think for next year. Revisiting the 60s, I think we said maybe. That was the only note I had on it.
Well, depending on how much money we have. So we're saying that the dog park is a no. The Oxbridge Unleashed is a no.
Yeah, it was too similar to the same grant they had last year.
Okay.
And revisiting the 60s, what did you say, Dana, that was?
I have a maybe down for that one. I don't know if anybody has anything else different.
That was the discussion about
Yep.
charging
the farm.
anything.
I
Yeah.
wrote not a priority in my notes from our last meeting. So we didn't say no, we didn't say yes. We just said, we give them money every year. I think we said, let's make sure if there's enough left over, we can say okay, because people love it. But we wanted to make sure we had chance for other people.
Right. Yep.
So let's hold off and go back to that one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think the writing workshop was a go.
I have Lisa Shea for 300.
Yep.
That's that?
Mhm.
That was a yes, right?
Yes.
Sensational Parent, I believe, was also a no.
I think that's a question. That's the adult dance. We were considering offering something on that. I have $1,000 with a question mark in my notes. So far, we're up to $650, okay? Just so
Yeah,
that you know. But anyhow, let's go ahead.
So should we come back to the dance one at the end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, holiday kickoff was a no.
I say no.
I think Paul was the only one that was kind of in favor of that one.
No.
Right. Again, because of COVID concerns, that being part of it. Too much money requested.
COVID, yeah, too much money. And again, I think that one also, there was no plan B. Like if we
Right.
only do 600, what are you gonna do with
Exactly.
the money?
Right.
At least for like the sensational parents, there's kind of like a plan B there. I know we'll
Yes.
do that one, but
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
the duo pianists, I think we said yes and then no after we discovered that most everything was available via YouTube anyway.
Correct.
Yeah, I think we weren't really excited about what we thought the lecture might have to offer, and the performance was already available online for free.
Yeah, so we're gonna pay $750 for a Q&A or something like that, basically.
A recorded Q&A.
Or a lecture, yeah, recorded lecture, not live.
Yeah, it's not even like, anyhow.
And maybe they'd record a new performance for us too. I don't know. I was a little skeptical. I don't know if I was unfair, but what should we say is the reason if we're going to decline?
Do we have to give a particular reason?
No, you can use that form letter,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, that it doesn't fit into the scope of our community outreach, however
Yeah.
you want to word it.
Okay.
Amount of funding. The folks I feel like we don't need to or we don't owe them, but there are like a few folks that I would like to do more than just the form letter for. But I think the
I
form
know.
letter for most
I
folks
agree.
is fine.
Yeah, especially local people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look,
To coach them a little bit on how to win
Yeah,
it next year.
I know, right. Okay, so now we're down to David
oral history
Maloof.
project.
No, the oral history. Oh yeah, that is David Maloof.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
So
not,
I wrote in my notes that we like the electronic versions of this, but I think we were hesitant to pay for 10 paper versions. Does that sound correct to other people's memory?
That sounded correct.
Yeah.
So any ideas on how much, or should we go back when we see how much we have left at the end?
sure, we can go back.
Right.
Chainsaws and cheeseburgers.
That's a yes.
Yeah, I watched one of his videos. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I keep meaning to, and when I think of it, I forget.
I watched a commencement speech he did for Keene State,
Oh my God.
and we used it. We're using it for one of the groups that we're running where I work.
There, that's an advertisement for him.
Yeah,
Great.
it was motivating.
I'm gonna have to watch him. When I read the application, I says, I've got to watch this guy. And I Googled him and I got a couple of things, but I'm like, I don't have time right now. And then it totally left my mind. I'll have to do it.
Hey.
Made it.
Yay!
Hey,
Paul, we have already gone through the Nutcracker, which we said no to, the dog park, which we said no to, revisiting the 60s, we said maybe, we're going to come back to that one. Writing workshop, yes. Sensational parents, maybe, we're coming back to it. The holiday kickoff thing, no. Dueling pianos, we said no. Oral history, we said yes to some, not the whole amount. And chainsaws and cheeseburgers, we said yes to.
Okay.
so we're down to Henry Lappin. And I believe we said yes. We keep telling him no. And we
Mhm.
said
Yep, we
yes.
said yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. He'll be happy. He persevered.
For the hip swayers, we said yes, but Aaron cannot charge.
Yes. Yep.
So I don't think I need to let them know that Aaron can't charge. I just need to let Aaron know.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't mind talking to Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right.
I think we said yes for the reading program.
Yes. We
Yes.
We said 1,000.
did. Mm-hmm.
That's what they
Mhm.
for.
And yes to the Day of the Dead.
Yes.
Yes to music education and virtual programming.
Mhm.
And then yes to the hip hop.
Right, so we have 3 to revisit with whatever money we have left.
All right, according to me, and then somebody's gonna have to double check it. We have spent so far 5,455.
Oh. So we still have
We have,
1,000.
Oh, we have a lot more
that
than that.
was our original amount. I have it written here. On the
I
paper.
wrote 7,552.
7,552. Minus. $2,097 left.
So the first maybe was the 60s. They want 500.
Okay, my thing with that is I feel that we should either pay it all or not pay it. Because then Aaron's going to charge to get in.
Yeah,
And I think we talked about not having our name associated with paying an admission, whether it's parking or a ticket to get in.
I'm okay with paying it all. So far for our summer concert series, we have a concert.
Right, and then we
So-
have Harry Lappin for the Apple Fest.
Yeah.
I guess the paying it all though, I mean, they're only asking 500, but we know that they're going to ask Aaron to pay 500.
Right,
Oh. Well, they can't do that.
But yeah, but then that becomes the issue is,
So do we want to give them more than they're asking for? That's a thing we can do.
we can. We can say that we're paying $1,000 with the stipulation that there's no other fees involved. They're not charging
Yeah.
Aaron anything,
No parking, nothing, yeah.
and then Aaron's made to be known that he's not charging for parking. If we're serious about our name being associated with free events. So,
We could still cover the other things we said maybe too, if we did that.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, we could almost not, we couldn't,
Well-
no. I take that back. We can't cover the things.
No, we can't.
So should we go through those other two and then make a decision?
Okay. Yeah. So we're going back to,
Sensational Parents and Oral History Project.
and that is David Maloof, right? Is David Maloof the Oral History Project?
I don't
Right.
remember.
Yes.
Okay.
So what's the question on his that we're coming back to it?
If we give them the whole amount,
And we have enough to give him the whole amount?
Well-
Hmm.
sort of.
yeah.
Well, okay, let me try this.
So Sensational Parents wants
Hang on
Well,
1 second.
2,750,
950.
and that's more than we have left.
Well, they want 2,750. We have $1,147 left.
Well, if we haven't made a decision about revisiting the 60s yet, then we have 2,097 left to divide between these three, or less than those three.
My light just went out.
Revisiting, is that the Beatles history of 60s that you're talking
Yeah.
about revisiting?
Yeah.
I'm new to this council and I know that. I haven't been to that many meetings, but It seems like everyone that I have been to, we've been talking about this guy down at the farm, and his charging money for stuff, and somebody's supposed to be talking to him, so he doesn't do that. Now we're talking about giving him more money so that he won't do it when he wasn't
We're not
listening to
giving
what he was
him money.
requested to in the first place.
Excuse me, Paul,
Yeah.
we're not giving Aaron money. We're contemplating paying the performers the full amount what they're asking for, so he doesn't charge anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
what happens is the performers ask us for less money, and then they tell Aaron that he has to foot half the bill. So that's why
Oh.
Aaron
Okay.
Yeah.
started charging,
Okay.
because
All
he
right,
was
I missed-
offering the farm
I
as a
missed that part
kindness.
somehow.
Yeah,
And we want to stay on the good side of Aaron, because it is a perfect location to have events and concerts.
and he does all the work.
Yeah,
You have
it
to
is.
do it.
And we bring in business for him, and that's fine. He can have his pulled pork and his ice cream and all the other dog and pony shows he wants to put on, but he can't charge for people to come to the
Right.
concert.
I mean, I wouldn't have an issue. I mean, even if he wanted to submit a grant request himself, and I wouldn't have an issue with that. I just thought that it was a situation where he wasn't cooperating with what he was being asked. So I was
No,
thinking, I'm not going to exactly want to give
Yeah,
money to somebody who's not being
no.
cooperative.
No.
no, he was just put in a tough spot after he offered us the use of his farm.
Okay.
At least that's my understanding.
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask him to file for a grant.
He probably should, because he brings in a bunch of bands, not just the ones we give him.
I know. He could. I have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I think that's the direction this is going to go, but my only worry then becomes pretty much half of the money that we allocate are going to be to 3 organizations.
Right. But
I do think that's where it's going to end up at anyway.
You're thinking the senior center, the library, and the farm?
Yeah. So we're going to actually only be able to disperse about $3,000 every year or something like that to.
Yeah. What is, I don't know if I can use this time to ask this question, but what is a grant for an artist in residence? Have we talked about that before? Because I see that on the emails that they send, that's one of the things that people can apply for, but I don't really know what that means. Does it have to be an artist that's living in Douglas?
I would think that, I would think it would be somebody who's here, temporarily or something like that, or in the area. And then we're helping foot the bill for them to stay here and maybe like do a performance or something in exchange.
I think like all we'd be able to help for is like 1 month's rent, maybe.
Yeah. That would be one of those ones that would be really good if you, if you were applying for something like that, and you asked other cultural councils to help foot the bill.
right. Yeah.
Now, according to the internet, I was kind of thinking, I remembered this from my time at the Worcester Art Museum. Artist in residence is an artist who is resident at a museum. Who's doing work, like, so if you had an artist at the Worcester Art Museum who was there, volunteering, doing things to get experience, things like that, contributing to their career as an artist, they can apply for grants to help defray their expenses.
Interesting.
Now, of course, we don't have any museums around here, so.
No, but it could be, it could be different things. Interesting.
I was thinking about it only because I know a lot of artists from the Blackstone Valley Art Association.
Right.
And the only one who applies for these is Lisa. Though I know a lot of them have been struggling throughout COVID, so.
Yeah, and those are things that I don't want to get into that too either. We could have another meeting about all this, and that might be a good idea after we get all this taken care of, all the nuts and bolts of this. I think we should.
Okay.
We really should. And then it's kind of like trying to be proactive and
Mhm.
plan ahead as to what's our plan going to be to get new faces and to get new applications, you know?
'Cause
Um,
one of the things that we have is the description of our cultural council on the Mass site where I went, Dana gave me the link to go to. It says that our priority in Douglas, because the residents apparently wanted the priority, was the live music. So I think if you have people looking at the Douglas Cultural Council and they see priority is live music, that may actually be discouraging folks
Right.
that don't do
So
live music.
again, I think we need to get back and finish up our budget, our thing that we want.
You're
And
right.
these are great topics. Jennifer, you said you were taking notes. Dana, you're putting together an agenda
Yeah.
for February, so we can spend a nice evening discussing all this stuff. You guys have such amazing ideas.
All right. So
So,
Danielle wants
okay.
us to make decisions about
Well,
these.
I think, because I'm getting way off track here.
Yeah.
I have $1,147 left.
No, I think we have 2,097 left. Because we still haven't made a decision about revisiting the 60s.
Right, but I don't even have that in my account.
That's what you told me. That's what you
No,
told
I
us.
said 950 for David Maloof. Because
Oh.
we had,
Oh, I did. Okay. I didn't know we said yes to him. Still had him as a maybe.
because I said, okay, so if we say yes to him, that leaves us. with
Right, 1,147.
I see. I see.
I think the only question with Maloof was the fact that we don't really want a bunch of binded books.
Right. I thought we were only going to say yes to some of what he was asking.
Okay.
But I don't know, do we have like a break? I mean, there's not a breakdown of like how much the books cost.
I think there is in his application, but I would have to go digging for it right now.
Yeah, his alternative funding plan was to reduce printing fees by either having less books or doing electronic versions.
Yeah. And we wanted to say, yeah, go ahead with the electronic versions. Does he say how much that would reduce his fees?
I think he did. I don't have,
Then we know how much he'll need to do that.
It says 150 for 10 books.
Okay. So it would bring him down to 700,
no,
bring it down to 800.
800.
100, right?
Do we have any idea who his targets are in terms of this oral history?
He said we could pick.
Yeah, we can choose on, we get to give the town, there's representatives from various places in town.
Okay.
that
Because
can-
one of the questions that comes to mind is, my tradition is, my ancestors passed things down by oral history. Oral history is incredibly important, and right now the struggle is just keeping the language alive. So to me, this is something that's really kind of a unique idea. Of all the things that I've seen, I've never seen anything like this particular project. And the thought I have is that typically the folks that seem to value oral history most are older folks. And, that's the population that is least likely to have access to electronic books kind of thing. So I'm, kind of wonder if that would be the best idea, to partially fund him and cut down on the published books.
Mm,
That's a good point.
yeah.
And maybe hopefully some of the older folks actually take these books from the library, look at them, and kind of pass them on to their kids, and get them interested, and
Right.
get folks interested in oral history again.
Yeah, you're right.
How are we going to pick the people? Is that a separate meeting?
That's not up to us. It's, he has it outlined, the Adult Social Center, the library, Cultural Council, maybe the Historical Society, any other groups. He's got it open to any
Okay.
groups who want to contribute.
All right. I just wanted to make sure he didn't end up with the people that are the most active on the town Facebook page.
Yeah. What my wife tells me, I don't know if
We
those
can
are the ones.
redact those names.
That's an old tradition. I don't think we need.
Very true.
My God. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think the historical center could definitely recommend a few folks, and if he needs other folks, I'm sure between the senior center and the library.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know,
Okay.
I wonder if he'd be open to putting a thing out there for people to actually do like a brief application to him saying, what they think they could offer. What do they know about Douglas that they could offer?
To nominate someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people would step forward and say, oh, I think I should be the subject of a book. But I think a lot of people will step forward and say, I think he or she should be the subject of a book.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or more like, I have a story to tell. I think is kind of what I would hope that he'd be looking for is,
Yeah, and I think
I've been in Douglas for a while. I have a story to tell.
that's in his description. He talks about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, what would be their story? I
I
don't
think
know.
it's something, I agree. It's something really different.
So we want to
So I
say the
just thought about maybe how to get people, and get something interesting.
Yeah, and maybe part of it is that we can be in touch with him as far as getting it off the ground. I think he kind of would need a little guidance to get started once we get settled. So I'm going to make a motion that we accept David Maloof at $950.
I'll second it.
Yep.
Okay, are we good with that?
See, Paul, it's a good thing you're here.
No thanks to the computer.
All right, so that brings us to $1,147.
So let's decide what to do with sensational parents.
Which one is that one?
That's the one that they wanted, was that a dance thing? I think it's a dance thing.
The dance classes?
And dance
Yeah.
education.
That's Amy, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Amy Fregala?
yes.
We definitely can't give her the amount that she's asking for. The question is, are we giving her anything? Or are
But
we
she was going to charge people.
Mhm.
And that was my concern with that is, unlike, unlike say a sculptor, okay, or a painter who does a piece of artwork with a grant, yes, they're going to make some money doing that, but then they put the sculpture or the painting in a store window or somewhere where people go and see it. It's not like they're doing a sculpture or a painting and having people come to their studio to look at it and then say, oh, and by the way, these are classes that I teach and And almost my thing is I almost feel like it's, in a way, she's looking to use cultural council money as a way of advertising and drumming up business, which much more directly by having people coming to her establishment.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. I think another way to look at it is she's looking to subsidize some otherwise expensive dance classes for people to be able to try it that can't otherwise afford it.
Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and
depends
if
on
it
how you
was,
frame
but
it.
if it was, yeah, but it's not a lot of classes.
Right. It's like 6 or something, half of the classes that she would normally do.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like
she said.
4 to 6 if she can't get all of the money.
Yeah.
So
And
if
then
we're
she went,
like a portion of what she's asking for, we talking like 2 to 3 classes.
yeah. And then she
No,
said
she-
if people want to continue, they'd have to pay.
The math just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
I mean, she says the participants are going to have to pay 3,500. She's asking for like 2,750. Or are they actually going to make up the difference if we fund all of the if we only give her 1,000, are they still on the hook for that difference plus what we don't give her?
That's how I understood her application anyway.
3,500, not per person.
No, for 25 people.
Okay. Okay. So what does that come out to per person? I'm just seeing if this seems like a likely thing that people will want.
Well,
35 or 25?
I just to be devil's advocate and confuse things, or maybe not devil's advocate, but just make things confusing for everybody.
Already done that.
Yeah, I've been told I excel at that actually, so I don't know. Going back to the history of the '60s, and we could take that $1,000 and fully fund that, as opposed to doing partial funding and reach a lot more people that way.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
It almost seems like a better use of the money in terms of bang for the buck kind of thing.
All right, so we're saying, so if we do that, we're saying
Okay.
no to sensational parents, for the reason that it's too much money to benefit too few people.
Yeah, that's kind of how it seems in the end.
This is one of those I would like for her to reapply next year. I just want to see, I guess, better math. I mean, I don't understand where the difference is going. I mean, the individuals are either on the hook for 110 to, as far as I can figure, 160.
Right, so,
Or
Yeah,
they're going to get 2 classes.
yeah.
I'd like to see
And
her
so that
come up
just-
with something where she wouldn't be charging people anything really for
Yeah,
at least
I
our
would-
part of it.
I tell you how she did. She started off, I think it was not last year, the year before. She did a small program and she worked her tail off with the school department to do some, the proposal was to do some music and movement classes with the younger grades. And in a couple of days and hit all of the classes and do a 30-minute session with each class. And she was charging like $350. And I thought, awesome. Well, she couldn't get connected with the school department. It was hard to get into them. She finally did it just before Christmas break. And the teachers were crazy over it because they said it was exactly what the kids needed to let off
Right.
steam. And I was so encouraged by that. And I really want to work with her. I think we should, if we're going to say no to everything for her, I think we should approach her and try to work with her for coming up with some reasonable goals and things.
Do we have within Douglas? I mean, obviously, place comes right to mind and be like a high school gymnasium, but I mean, within Douglas, I mean, the high school gymnasium or anywhere else is there a place that she could use that she could maybe somehow go for the same audience that she's looking to go for here, but have more people in attendance than what her studio would hold?
Yeah,
So-
'cause she does have a very relatively small studio.
Yeah, so then you get a bigger bang for the buck,
Yeah,
so to
she's
speak.
using
You've got
social
room
distancing, so
for
she's
more
got-
people.
yeah.
And if she's not using her own overhead, it doesn't cost her as much, maybe.
The only thing I can think of would be through the school department. Okay. There's a slim chance. I wonder if the space downstairs at the library would work for her, where they do the children's story time.
Or the gymnasium at the municipal
But
center.
right now that's closed. No
Well-
one's in the
Right, no one's any, right.
So, and what did you say?
Or the
library.
gymnasium at the municipal center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I think that would
that
work.
would be perfect.
Yeah. And she could at least double the number if she can get that many people.
And the other thing, if we defer her till next year, then hopefully by then this COVID thing is enough under wraps that they could do something like that.
Yeah, and that maybe, and I'm happy to reach out to her because I've done a lot of grant work. I've done a lot of applications and things like that over the years for various things. So I can maybe kind of give her some pointers on, what would help, and then try to open the doors with the school department or the municipal center, using the gymnasium there or whatever, planning it well ahead. I
Right.
think that would be great.
Yeah. I mean, I think her idea is a good idea. I think the population segment that she is trying to target is, and I think we talked about this last time, is a segment that doesn't often get targeted.
Absolutely.
But it feels kind of like not a whole lot for the money, and it feels like there's a burden that's going to be at least mentioned to the folks in attendance, so then they may start feeling like they do have to pay something, or
Right.
I'm not even sure how. It wasn't really clear what she was totally intending to do in terms of charging people. So it just felt kind of odd to me that the way that was written up. And
Danielle, I'll
Right.
mention that you're gonna reach
Yeah,
out to her in the letter I send. Because I'm just gonna email everybody. I'm
Yes,
not-
you're gonna email everybody and then I'll reach out to her besides.
Yeah, I'll give her a heads up that you're gonna
I'm
do.
more than.
Yeah, so I'll give it a little time and then, I'm sorry, Dana, what?
Yeah, what was that, Dana?
I'm also more than happy. Yeah, I'm also more than happy to talk with her because I do like I liked all three of the projects.
Yeah.
They're just either not doable or using, or they're just way too ambitious for a cultural council our size, to fund.
Maybe she should have applied to the Hanover.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyhow, not to be a nudge, but we still have $1,147.
Yep, and we still have the Beatles. So,
We'll give them
right, so if we
1,000.
I say go for
gave
it.
them $1,000,
Yeah,
which we just talked about doing.
yeah.
and there will be no other fees.
Yes,
Correct.
Right.
yes. And Dana, you said you could get in touch with Aaron or Jennifer or,
Dana was gonna do it.
all right. So,
Danielle, you're going to talk to Amy. There's one thought that just popped into my head because I didn't see it on any of her applications, is making sure that she knows that she can apply to more than one cultural council. So if she wanted to do something like Nutcracker and be drawing talent from the entire area, more than one council could chip in on that, maybe, kind of thing.
I noticed that too. Yeah. Yeah. She's new to it. A lot of people just, they find out about it. They say, okay, I can do it in my town. I can't try anyplace else. But if she's reaching people from those other towns, which I'm sure some of her families come from other towns. So yeah, absolutely. I'd love to work with her and see something happen with that. That would be great.
I'll make my decline letter very supportive.
Yes. And so we still have $147.
We're gonna income, well, unless we think any
Council
of these,
party.
Well, you know what we can do? We can let it sit because it's money we're supposed to be spending it down, okay? And it's money that's been encumbered. Some of it goes back to, oh no, I'm gonna lose all my papers here, hang on. FY17, some of the money goes back to, that we've been encumbering, that we need to spend. So,
90%.
we can carry that $147 and add, we do have a little bit in there for our incidental expenses. So we can just carry it into that.
we could, or we could look and see if any of these projects that we are funding could use a little extra boost in order to do something a little better or reach more people if people have ideas that we can offer them.
It's an odd amount of money. I don't.
I
I'm
know.
good rolling it over. Yeah, I'm good rolling it over.
Yeah.
Roll it over. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Can anyone help me remember, I think the rule is I send out the no letters first, and then I wait 2 weeks, and then I send out the yes letters.
Yes,
Correct.
So when I send out the no letters, I give them 2 weeks to reply to me.
right, because they might appeal it,
Yeah.
which happened to us one year.
It was a good
And
thing it happened too.
And that goes up to the state, right? In the appeal? If I was reading that email correctly?
yes, I think the state gets a copy of that. Yeah,
But
So they need
the
the time
system's
to
still
appeal to the
local.
state council, and then the state council looks at it and then lets us know if they want us to overturn it.
I think on the other one, we made the
I don't
decision.
think so. I think, no, they're not micromanaging like that. I don't
Oh,
think,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I maybe
I think
misread that.
I think they want copies of the paperwork or some, and we could probably use them, for advice, but I think it's still our decision. So we're good for our decisions?
yeah, that looks good to me. So like I say, I have,
The other thing I have, go ahead, Danielle.
I have an invoice from Lisa Shea that I'll send an email about, and if somebody can just respond to it, then I can print that out and send it over.
Sure, I will. Send it over and I'll do it as soon as you send it.
All right,
And I'll email Jean Levitt about maybe can we do things electronically in the future? And should I ask her about the idea about setting up the Venmo account that our special guest brought up last time?
Yeah, I was hoping he would show up again.
oh,
I heard that he popped into other people's town meetings too.
that's interesting.
So he might have been
Oh.
shopping for a group.
I think he was
He
looking.
got a better offer.
I'll ask my husband if he joined his committee. Duke it out over him.
Whoa, small town politics. Anybody here watch Schitt's Creek?
A little, yeah.
Yep.
Just reminds me of that.
Did we want to schedule another meeting to talk about our energetic ideas to get our council having more grant applications next time around,
Absolutely.
like a few months out
Well,
or sooner,
yeah, we should do it sooner.
so we don't all forget?
Right, well, we have a little bit of momentum going. So, Jennifer, I'll say you'll get the letters out by, what, the end of January?
Yeah,
So we figured 2 weeks. So the week, and we're right on target with this. I think this is what the state is saying. The week of February 14th.
I'll be able to send the yes letters at that
Yeah.
point.
And then I would say, well, should we meet? Well, you know what? Let us know if you get any responses on the no letters. And do we need to meet over those
Mhm.
if they're, having a problem? Otherwise, if you don't get any, how about if we meet like the end of February, beginning of March? I think that's the time to come up with ideas and then have them written, have them figured out, and give us a timeline and say, okay, now we're going to do this and that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I
People
will
have-
definitely reach out to Dennis See if he
Yeah.
can join us.
Yeah.
Do people have a day of the week that they like better?
I'm pretty flexible.
Anything but Monday.
Yeah, 6 of one, half dozen of the other for me.
We're looking at the week of the 22nd, right? Yeah, I got nothing going on.
Sure.
Danielle, do we have library?
We would have library on the
That week?
4th Tuesday. That would be the 23rd.
22nd of February, that week.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have something Thursday, so.
Why don't we go to the next week, the first week of March?
Okay.
Anytime there, I'm good.
Yeah, I have nothing.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's do that.
Which day?
Any
Do
day.
we like Thursdays? Do we, you know?
Good.
I'm pretty,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
fine.
burnt out by Thursdays these days.
Oh, come on.
Oh, work has been really hectic lately.
I'm
Can't
good.
imagine why.
Whatever. Let me know.
Can we do Tuesday?
I can do Tuesday.
Sure.
I can,
Tuesday, the 2nd at 6 PM?
Sounds good.
All right.
if we can get it scheduled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dana, do it right away.
Please.
Yeah.
This
And then
Zoom
you guys
world
are
is
shooting
getting
stuff.
crazy.
I know, I
Only
thought it
hope
would be,
comes to an end.
I thought it would be easier since we're meeting online to just do it whenever, but that was short.
You know,
No, it
there's
keeps
so
changing.
many other people trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of how they wanted the information too, I think they've changed it up 2 or 3 times.
Hmm.
'Cause I got fussed at last time a little bit.
Justin gets it all the time too. He's always breaking the rules. It's crazy
He's used
rules.
to, yeah, he's used to.
All right. Well, have a good night, everybody.
All right, you too. All right.
All right.
Talk to everybody soon. Take care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.